Joined now by the voice of the Yarmouth Junior A Mariners, Kevin Northup. Kevin, we'll start off with a bit of a vague question, but I know it's a big one in regards to the Mariners. Mariners seem to have something special going on down there in terms of fan support. Perhaps it might be your geographic location, a bit isolated from the rest of the league. Tell us, how well does that community support their team?
The community supports the team greatly, Pat, and the Yarmouth Mariners have always been number one down here in regards to any sport, whether it be even professional sports when we report about it on the radio down here. The team's also always in the community. That's a big thing. Head coach and general manager Laurie Barron always wants to make sure the team is out doing things. They have a program called the Icy Nights where they work with mentally and physically challenged youth. That's always been a great success, but the fan support is there. And they were a little ticked off last year that the Mariners played so poorly. And this year so far, things are turning around pretty well. 6-0 start. They're ranked 4th nationally in the first CJHL rankings. About 1,300 fans every game so far. And
you mentioned the Mariners are off to a hot start. Paint us a picture of the MHL. I know there was a great final last year between Pictou County and Dieppe. Who are the contenders projected to be?
Pictou County, always a contender. They're pretty strong, so they should be right back up there this year. Dieppe, they lost a little bit from last year, so I'm not sure how they're going to fare. Past couple of years, of course, they won the County Cup in 2015 and went to the finals last year. Never count out the Truro Bearcats. They're like the Detroit Red Wings of the NHL. The Bearcats always have a good team, and Sean Evans and the coaching staff there really just put it together every year and have a solid team. The East Lake South Division, the division that the Yarmouth Mariners are in, it's anybody's game this year. It's so early in the season, it's hard to tell. Amherst is another team that's very, very good on paper. Daryl McCollum's on the team this year in goal. Breton fans will be familiar with him. Over in the East Lake North Division, Woodstock, they hosted the Fred Page Cup last year. They're looking a little bit weaker this year. They have yet to record a win. St. Stephen Aces, they were expected to have a little bit better start, but the tragedy with Scotty Green has affected that team. The Mariners and South Shore Lumberjacks put together a little fundraiser for them too, but they're hoping to overcome that, this being their 3rd season in the league. As far as contenders in the East Lake North, of course, Miramichi, they always have a good team. Couple of guys from South Shore they picked last year. Kel Parker's on that team, former Halifax head. So they're a team definitely that could make some noise. Hamilton Tigers always also solid too.
Looking at the Yarmouth Mariners, I think a lot of Cape Breton fans, when they think Yarmouth, they might think Colregionano. Seems that Yarmouth has had a tradition of players either tied to the Eagles or from Cape Breton.
Absolutely. Colregionano is one that comes to mind automatically. He played the full season here in Yarmouth as a 16-year-old, and myself and the fans were calling him future captain material. He was such a great success story last year, making the Screaming Eagles. We thought in Yarmouth that we were going to get him back at the deadline last year. That didn't pan out. St. John Sea Dogs picked him up on Q waivers. Fans in Yarmouth certainly want to wish Colregionano all the best, and any player that makes it to the Q all the best, but they certainly want to see him back here at some point, whether that's this year, maybe in the future, when the Mariners are even that much stronger. Another one in recent years, Billy Hartley, who played a little bit with the Screaming Eagles and closed out his career here as a 20-year-old. Very good on defense. Always brought his A game and very offensively gifted too as a defenseman. Liked to rush the puck. I remember an overtime winner he had against Woodstock, end-to-end rush. He was certainly a fan favorite. Brandon Sims, another one, led East Link South Division in points last year with the South Shore Lumberjacks, but he played with the Yarmouth Mariners as well.
Regarding the league itself, you look at the MHL, it kind of fills the void. Market's not big enough for Major Junior, but has there been a shift in philosophy in that league? Because Cape Breton fans will remember Junior A here 20 years ago was kind of your guys that, maybe they weren't going anywhere, but perhaps more of a developmental league now.
The pay-to-play is a new in this league this year where players have to pay to play in the league. That's a little different. This league, I find, it's a bit of a development league if guys want to go to the Q, but with the QMJHL, the ceiling there, it's pretty tough to get to for a lot of players. And for those players that get to come to the MHL, some young enough to go back to Major Midget, that actually happened to the Mariners this year. They thought a few players that might end up with the team ended up going back to their Major Midget squads, and there's nothing wrong with that. But head coach Laurie Barron was a little vocal and saying, hey, maybe the kids are drinking the Major Midget team's Kool-Aid and thinking they might get a shot with a Q team if they need a call-up that weekend. As far as the MHL goes, I think we're moving forward pretty well as a league. This is our 50th season. We're bringing back the MHL Showcase, which is where all the teams get to go to Truro this time around. It was missing the past few seasons, but a lot of scouts get to go. All the teams play a couple of games over the Thanksgiving weekend. A couple of teams also off to the Eastern Canadian Junior A Championship in Ontario in November. It only increases the exposure that much more, and hope to see it grow more in the future.
Well, we hope for all the best for you, Kevin, and thanks for doing this. Good luck to you and the Mariners this season.
All right, Pat, thanks so much for having me.
That's Kevin Northup. He is the voice of the Yarmouth Mariners Junior A team. You are listening to McDonald Auto Group Screaming Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.